My food brought joy to the street, then she destroyed my food truck. So I destroyed her entire career. I'm holding my father's recipe box right now. The wood is worn smooth from 3 generations of hands. Inside are yellowed cards written in fatting Spanish, recipes that survived revolution, poverty, and border crossings. My father, Mateo Delgado, carried this box from Michoacan to Texas with nothing else. He died when I was 12, heart attack during his second shift as a line cook. He never got his dream restaurant. My mother, Carmen, raised me and my brother, Tomas, alone, working doubles at the same restaurant where Papa died. She taught me every recipe before cancer took her 6 years ago. At her deathbed, she gripped my hand. "Promise me, Rosita, make your father's dream real." "I promise, Mama." Tomas was there too. "We'll do it together, Hermana. Family is everything." I believed him. That was my first mistake. For 3 years after Mama's funeral, I worked myself into the ground, waitressing at fancy restaurants where customers treated me like furniture, overnight shifts at diners, catering for rich people who complained about free champagne. Every single dollar saved. I lived in a roach-infested studio with no AC, ate rice and beans for weeks, wore thrift store clothes, had no life, no fun, no dadding. Just work, save, work, save. Tomas visited sometimes. He was doing well, 6-figure tech job, nice condo. "How's the fund coming?" he'd ask. 31,000 now. "So close. I'm proud of you, Hermana." He never offered money. Said he had loans, mortgage payments. I understood. By my 32nd birthday, I had $43,000. 3 years of brutal sacrifice. Finally enough. I found a used 2014 food truck for $12,000. Spent 8 weeks renovating it myself with YouTube tutorials as my teacher. I painted it bright yellow and red, Michoacan flag colors. Hand-painted both sides. Delgado's legacy in beautiful script with Papa's portrait from an old photo. Beneath it, honoring Mateo Delgado, 1965-2007. Every detail was sacred. The menu was exclusively Papa's recipes. His signature carnitas tacos with mango habanero salsa, abuela's barbacoa, tamales verdes, traditional champorado. Tomas helped sometimes, held ladders, gave advice, took photos. "Papa would be so proud," he said. Launch day, April 15th, 3 years ago. The night before, Tomas brought expensive wine. To Delgado's legacy, Mama and Papa are smiling. I cried and hugged him. "We're family," he said, "always." I should have known better. April 15th arrived cold and drizzling. I'd been up since 3 a.m. prepping, hands shaking with terror. What if no one came? By 10:45 there was a line, 30 people, then 50. "Are you all here for me?" I asked through the window. A woman smiled. "Your brother posted your story on Instagram. We wanted to support you." My first customer was an elderly Mexican woman. She ordered 3 carnitas tacos. One bite, eyes closed. When they opened, tears streamed down. "Mija," she whispered, "this tastes like my mother's cooking, like home, like love." I started crying too. That's what Papa wanted, to make people feel loved. She hugged me through the window. By closing, I'd served 167 customers, sold out completely, made $2,100. I did it, Papa. That night, Tomas called. I heard it was amazing. "Thank you for the Instagram posts." "Of course, I'm documenting your journey. People need to see this." At dinner Friday, I showed him my numbers and expansion plans. "You could really scale this," he said. "Multiple trucks, catering, maybe a restaurant." That's the dream. I could help with business operations, marketing, social media, finances. You cook, I handle growth. What do you say, 20% equity? 20% seemed high, but he was my brother, my only family. "Deal," I said. We shook hands, no contract, no lawyers. "Just trust." "Family business," he smiled. Looking back, I can see it now. the calculation in his eyes, the plan already forming. But I was blind, stupid, trusting. Mistake number 2. The first 6 months were a dream I never wanted to wake from. Food bloggers discovered me. Delgado's legacy isn't just food, it's a pilgrimage for anyone who believes food should have soul. Local news featured me. Tomas managed social media brilliantly. We grew to 42,000 followers. I was serving 300 to 400 customers daily, making 3,000 to 5,000 per day. After expenses, netting 12,000 monthly. Tomas took his 20%, 2,400 monthly. Seemed fair. I finally moved to a better apartment. 1 bedroom, AC, no roaches. Paradise. But more than money, I had community. Thomas the homeless vet I fed free. Patricia the single mom with 3 kids. Construction crews, students, office workers. You make us feel seen, Patricia told me once. Everyone matters here. This was Papa's legacy, not just food, dignity. Month 8, November, Tuesday afternoon. A woman approached my window, completely out of place. Mid-40s, severe blonde bob, $3,000 suit, expensive jewelry. Power and money incarnate. Are you Rosita Delgado? Yes, what can I get you? She smiled coldly. I'm Diane Whitmore, City Council, District 7. I also own Whitmore's Bistro downtown. I'd heard of it, upscale place, $28 entrees. What can I do for you? I wanted to introduce myself. Very impressive what you've built. Her tone was wrong, cataloging, assessing, predatory. There's been concerns raised about this food truck park. Permit compliance, health codes, zoning violations. Nothing specific to you, just routine oversight. My stomach dropped. Everything here is fully permitted. I'm sure. Still, we'll be conducting thorough reviews, just a courtesy warning. That smile again. Call me anytime. She left without ordering. That night, I told Tomas about Diane's visit. She said she's investigating the park. It felt like a threat. She's probably just doing her job. City council, right? Don't stress. Your permits are perfect. But I couldn't shake the feeling. Something was deeply wrong. 2 weeks later, Diane returned. Thursday afternoon, same time. Leather portfolio, business face. Rosita, we need to chat. We sat at a picnic table. She pulled out papers. The review raised concerning issues. Your fire suppression system is technically non-compliant with updated code. Questions about wastewater disposal. And this location may not be properly zoned. I passed all inspections. Old code. Regulations changed 8 months ago, right when you opened. My blood went cold. What do I need to do? New fire suppression, 15,000. Wastewater system, 8,000. Plus potential relocation if zoning can't be resolved. $23,000. Money I didn't have. There must be a grace period, I said, voice shaking. Diane leaned in conspiratorially. Between us, Rosa, there's political pressure to clean up this area. Development interests want this land. Some council members are looking for excuses to revoke permits. She pulled out another document. I have a proposal. My restaurant group is expanding, authentic Mexican street food, elevated. We need a consultant, someone with your talent and story. She slid a contract across the table. 6-month consulting contract, $50,000. You develop recipes, train staff, and I'll personally ensure your permits get approved, upgrades funded through grants I can access. 50,000, life-changing money. But everything screamed wrong. You want my father's recipes. I want your expertise. You'd reach so many more people. Your father's legacy, scaled citywide. I need to think. 30 days to address violations. After that, the city seizes your truck. After Diane left, I read the contract carefully. Section 7, Paragraph 4. All recipes, techniques, and intellectual property shared during consultation become the exclusive property of Whitmore Restaurant Group. Consultant forfeits all rights to commercial use of said recipes for 5 years following contract termination. She wasn't hearing me. She was buying my silence and stealing my inheritance. This was extortion. Politely delivered, legally structured, but extortion. Give me your recipes or lose everything. That night I barely slept. The next morning I called Tomas. I need to talk, now. He came over that evening. I showed him everything. This is insane, he said. She's threatening you. What do I do? He studied the papers. Then, maybe you should take it. I stared. What? $50,000, fixed permits, massive exposure. She wants Papa's recipes. She wants to hire you. You'd still own them. Read the fine print. They'd become her property, I shouted. I'd lose commercial rights for 5 years. Tomas sighed. Maybe that's the price of scaling up. Rosa, think bigger than one truck. This could launch your real restaurant career. I don't want real restaurant. I want to honor Papa my way. You're being stubborn. This is a good opportunity. It's extortion. It's business. Diane has leverage, she's using it. That's how things work. I felt sick. Whose side are you on? Yours, always, but pride is clouding your judgment. Get out. Rosa. Get out. He left, shaking his head like I was a foolish child. I sat alone, crying, terrified. I had 30 days before losing everything. Over the next 2 weeks, my world collapsed. Week 1, health inspector appeared, nitpicked everything. 3 citations, 15,000 in potential fines. Your thermometers aren't properly calibrated. Another violation. They were fine yesterday. Week 2, fire marshal inspection, unannounced, middle of lunch rush. Your suppression system is inadequate. You need to upgrade or shut down. I passed inspection 8 months ago. Code changed. 2 weeks to upgrade or we revoke your permit. The company quoted $18,000, 4 to 6 weeks lead time. I couldn't afford it, didn't have 4 weeks. Week 3, George, the park owner, pulled me aside. Rosa, the city's threatening to revoke the park's master permit unless all vendors comply. Your violations are putting everyone at risk. My heart stopped. You're kicking me out. If you can't resolve this in 2 weeks, I have to. I can't let one truck destroy everyone else's livelihood. Week 4, 1-star Yelp reviews appeared. Fake accounts created that week. Delgado's legacy is overrated. Mediocre food, just marketing. Go to Whitmore's Bistro for real quality. 4 reviews in 3 days. My rating crashed from 4.9 to 3.2. Customers noticed the bad reviews, started doubting. Lines got shorter. Revenue dropped 40% in 1 week. I was drowning. Day 29, 1 day before the deadline, Diane called. Rosa, how are you holding up? You know exactly how. This is all you. I don't know what you mean. The inspections, violations, fake reviews. You're destroying me. I'm a city council member doing my job. Perhaps you should reconsider my offer. You're evil. I'm pragmatic. You have 1 day to comply or lose your truck. But my offer stands. $50,000, and I make all your problems disappear. And if I refuse? Tomorrow the city seizes your truck. You lose everything. Your father's recipes die with your failed business. My hands shook violently. Sign an email by midnight tonight. Your choice. She hung up. I sat in my empty truck and cried. At 11:30 p.m., Tomas called. Rosa, Diane called me. She said you're being difficult. My blood froze. She called you. I'm your business partner. Of course she called. What did you tell her? That I'd talk sense into you. Just sign it, Rosa. How does she have your number? Silence. Tomas, how does Diane Whitmore have your personal phone number? More silence. We've been talking for a few months. The world stopped. What? She reached out after seeing my Instagram posts. She wanted to discuss partnerships. How long? Rosa. How long? Since July. July, 3 months ago, before Diane ever approached me. What did you tell her? Just business stuff. Revenue, operations, recipes. You told her about Papa's RECIPS. She was interested in authentic Mexican cuisine. I thought she might invest. You set me up. I was exploring opportunities. What's your cut, Tomas? Silence. What's your cut? His voice went quiet, ashamed. 15,000, plus 10% equity in the restaurant concept if you sign. I couldn't breathe. My brother, my only family, sold me out for $15,000. You betrayed me. I'm being pragmatic. You'll never make real money with a food truck. This is a chance to cash out. Get out of my business. No more equity, no involvement, no access. You can't. We had a deal. We had a handshake between family, which you destroyed. I was screaming, tears streaming. I trusted you. You were all I had left. You're being emotional. I'm being betrayed by my own brother for money. I hung up, blocked his number. Sat in darkness, completely alone. My business being stolen, my family destroyed. 12 hours to sign away Papa's legacy or lose everything. I wanted to die. Instead, I got angry. I didn't sign Diane's contract. At 11:59 p.m., I emailed her. I will never give you my father's recipes. Do your worst. The next morning, city inspectors arrived with police. Resita Delgado, your business license is revoked for permit noncompliance. Your truck is being impounded. They seized my truck, my equipment, everything. Total fines and upgrades, $42,000. I stood watching them tow away my father's legacy and felt hollow. George approached, miserable. Rosa, I'm so sorry. Not your fault. I went home, lay in bed, stared at the ceiling. I'd lost everything. Again. 3 years of brutal work, erased in 30 days. I stayed in bed for 2 days. On day 3, my phone buzzed. Email. From info@Whitmore Bistro, com subject, grand opening. Whitmore's Cantina, authentic Mexican street food. Opening December 1st. Attached, menu photos. My father's carnitas, his salsa, his barbacoa. Every recipe. Stolen. The email showed Diane cutting a ribbon, smiling for cameras. Caption: Councilwoman Diane Whitmore brings authentic Mexican cuisine to downtown Austin. She'd stolen everything without my signature, without my permission. How? Then I remembered Tomas had access to everything. My recipe notes, ingredient lists, photos of my cooking process. He'd given her everything. I stared at that email for an hour. Then something shifted inside me. From despair to fury, from victim to warrior. No. This wasn't over. I made a list. What Diane has. My recipes, political power, money, a new restaurant, fake legitimacy. What I have. The truth, the original recipe box, documentation, proof of theft, nothing left to lose. That last one was critical. When you've lost everything, you become dangerous. I spent 3 days researching Diane Whitmore. And I found her pattern. Public records showed Diane's voting history. Every single vote favored development over community. She'd voted to shut down 3 food truck parks in 4 years. Always voting to approve her husband Preston's development projects. Obvious conflicts of interest. She had a pattern. Identify successful small businesses, force them out through regulatory pressure, acquire their locations for development. I was just her latest victim. Then I found a news article from 3 years ago. Local taqueria files complaint against city council member. Lorenzo Vasquez had accused Diane of regulatory harassment after refusing to sell his family restaurant. Within 6 months, he'd lost his business to permit violations. His location, now a parking garage owned by Preston Whitmore. She'd done this before. I found Lorenzo's number, called him. Mr. Vasquez, Diane Whitmore destroyed my food truck. I think she did the same to you. Silence. Then, she's a monster, a sophisticated legal monster. Tell me everything. I met Tomas at a coffee shop, wearing a wire, recording app on my phone. Texas is one-party consent. I could legally record. I'm sorry, I said with fake tears. You were right. I was being emotional and stubborn. I should have taken Diane's deal. He hugged me. I'm so glad you're okay. This has been hard. Can you tell me exactly what happened? I need to understand. And he told me everything. Proud, boastful, stupid. How Diane contacted him in July after seeing my Instagram. How she offered money to share my business details. How they planned the regulatory pressure together. She needed to know your finances, operations, everything. I provided it all. She paid me $5,000 up front, another $10,000 when you were shut down. And the recipes. I photographed your father's recipe box when helping you prep, sent her everything. I had it all on recording. What about the fake reviews? I asked. Diane hired a reputation management company. They create fake accounts, post negative reviews, boost positive ones for her restaurants. Standard practice. And the inspections. She has connections, called in favors, made sure inspectors were thorough with you. Everything, he confessed everything. So what happens now? Well, Diane opens in 2 weeks. She's paying me another $10,000 as a consulting bonus. Plus, she offered me a management position, $45,000 salary. You're going to work there. Why not? Good money. And honestly, she's going to succeed with or without us. Might as well benefit. I wanted to vomit. Thanks for being honest. Of course, we're family. I left before saying something I'd regret. I had his full confession on tape. Next, I found 2 other business owners Diane had destroyed, recorded their stories too. Then I filed public records requests. The patterns were damning. Every regulation change benefited Diane's businesses or Preston's developments. Every food truck she targeted had been in locations Preston later developed. Clear corruption. But I needed more, the smoking gun. Lorenzo mentioned, she has someone inside city inspections. That's how she triggers investigations. For 3 days, I sat in the city building lobby, watching. Day 4, Diane entered at 11:45 a.m., went to the 3rd floor inspections department. At 12:15, she left with a man, mid-50s city ID badge, Harold Chen, senior inspector. They went to lunch, sat close, very friendly. I followed them for a week, documented 5 meetings, always during work hours, always at expensive restaurants. Then I got lucky. I was sitting near them at a restaurant, recording on my phone. Harold's voice clear. The Santos truck is gone. Clean sweep just like you wanted. What's my bonus? Diane laughed. 10,000 as agreed. You've been very helpful, Harold. I had it. I compiled everything. Tomas's recorded confession. Harold and Diane's conversation. Lorenz and 2 other victims' testimonies. Public records showing corruption patterns. Proof of stolen recipes. Documentation of the pressure campaign. Then I contacted Amanda Pierce, investigative reporter for Austin Chronicle. I have a story about city council corruption, small business destruction, and recipe theft. We met. I showed her everything. Her eyes widened. This is massive. Diane Whitmore is untouchable. If we publish this, it needs to be airtight. It is. She spent 2 weeks verifying everything, interviewed Lorenzo and the other victims, obtained additional city records, contacted Harold Chen for comment. He refused. Contacted Diane. She threatened legal action. That's when Amanda knew we had her. This publishes Monday, 3 days before her restaurant opens. Perfect timing. Sunday night, I couldn't sleep. Monday morning, the article went live. City Council member Diane Whitmore, a pattern of corruption and small business destruction. It was devastating. The article detailed everything. 5 years of targeting small businesses. Regulatory harassment campaign. Stolen recipes through my brother. Bribery of City Inspector Harold Chen. Conflicts of interest with husband Preston's developments. 3 previous victims' testimonies. Within hours, it went viral. Local news picked it up, then state news, then national. Austin City Council member faces corruption allegations. Social media exploded. Diane Whitmore is a monster. Justice for Rosa Delgado. How many small businesses did she destroy? By noon, protesters gathered outside Whitmore's bistro. By 3 p.m., the FBI announced an investigation into public corruption. By 5 p.m., the City Council called an emergency meeting. By 8 p.m., Diane Whitmore resigned from City Council. Her statement, "I deny all allegations and will vigorously defend myself. I'm stepping down to focus on these false accusations." But the damage was done. Harold Chen was fired and arrested for accepting bribes. Tomas was named as a co-conspirator. And Whitmore's cantina, my father's stolen recipes, never opened. The next 6 months were a whirlwind. FBI investigation led to criminal charges against Diane. Corruption, bribery, fraud, theft of intellectual property. Harold Chen pleaded guilty, testified against Diane. Tomas was charged as an accessory, faced 3 years in prison. He tried calling me. I never answered. In court, I gave testimony. Diane sat there in another expensive suit, looking smaller somehow, diminished. The judge was not sympathetic. "Mrs. Whitmore, you used your position of public trust to systematically destroy small business owners for personal gain. You corrupted city officials. You stole from vulnerable people. This court finds you guilty on all counts." Diane got 6 years in federal prison. Preston's business empire collapsed under investigation. Dozens of illegal deals exposed. Tomas pleaded guilty, got 18 months in minimum security. Before sentencing, he tried to apologize. "Rosa, I'm so sorry. I was greedy, stupid. I destroyed our family for money. Can you ever forgive me?" I looked at my brother. "No," I said, "I can't." I walked away. With the settlement money from Diane's assets, $317,000, I did what Mama asked. I opened a brick-and-mortar restaurant. Small place, 40 seats. Exposed brick, family photos on walls, Papa's portrait above the open kitchen. Delgado's legacy, honoring 3 generations. Opening night, I served the same menu from my food truck. Lorenzo came, Patricia and her kids, Thomas, George, all my community. "You did it," Lorenzo said, tears in his eyes. "You beat her." We beat her, all of us. The restaurant succeeded immediately. Lines out the door, 5-star reviews. But this time I was smart. I trademarked everything. Copyrighted my mother's story, protected Papa's legacy legally. I published a cookbook, The Delgado Legacy, Recipes of Resistance. All profits went to a legal fund, helping small businesses fight regulatory harassment. Today, 3 years later, I have 2 locations. I employ 23 people, all paid fairly. And every plate I serve carries Papa's dream forward. Diane's in prison. Tomas is out, working construction, blocked from my life forever. And me. I'm finally free. Papa's legacy isn't just recipes anymore. It's justice.